What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my studio. So we are on Tessa interview on how it took Power Rangers 31 plus years to finally have an exclusive LGBT Ranger on the team instead of having somebody become an official LGBT Ranger. Now, y'all know how I am about this topic. I don't have a problem with the gay people. I never did. But I do have my issues with their ways and how they're living their life. And especially if you're forcing this propaganda onto the kids, that's the biggest red flag to me. But we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about Tessa, who became my new favorite Green Ranger alongside the GOAT, Tommy Oliver, the OG Green Ranger. So it says, Tessa portraying Izzy Garcia, the first female Green in LGBT Power Ranger. Now, even though Donald Fury and Cosmic Fury got nominated and they won the GLAAD Award twice because of how good the show was in terms of the writing and the acting goes. But I don't think if it wasn't for Tessa, we wouldn't have Power Rangers for what it is right now. But, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, what's done is done. So I'm glad that Tessa became an icon to the LGBT community. So she's the GOAT in my opinion. Although it took Power Rangers nearly 30 years to include the first LGBT Ranger, the impact that Izzy Garcia has left in the franchise will resonate with the fans for generations because their character goes beyond the community she represents. Her struggles, triumph, and relationships are enthusiastic as they get. Tessa, who portrayed Izzy and Donald Fury and Cosmic Fury, reflected upon her inspirational journey. Rayo didn't actually audition for the role of Izzy Garcia. The actor revealed she initially went for Jay Boyd and Jay Fairview's comedic counterpart in the show. Let It Be Fate, but a sudden recast of the Donald Fury Green Ranger a couple of weeks before the beginning of production led the filmmakers to consider Tessa spontaneously a charm for the role. Less than 24 hours later, she would embark on her Power Rangers journey that would forever change her career. I was working at a supermarket in my hometown, New Zealand. I found out on my lunch break that I got the job and I had to go in and quit. I couldn't even give my 2 weeks notice because I had to move the next day and go straight into pre-production. From there, the rest of my life kind of began. Nothing has been the same since. It wasn't until later that I found out that she was going to be the first female Green Ranger and the first queer Ranger. The whole experience was wild. Tessa admitted that she didn't grow up watching Power Rangers, but confessed that it would have empowered her as a young woman in a lot of ways. I think I would have felt a little less alone in moments I had left on the show. Well, I had on the show, but I almost felt like my inner child gets to have that big part of it in a way that I am now. You know, I am officially a fan, and I have been now for a while. So what she's actually saying is that even though she didn't grow up entirely watching Power Rangers, but when she got the job as an actress on the show that is so iconic for 31 years, she immediately changed her mind and changed her perspective on life now that she's a Power Ranger. And it really goes to show you that when you're an actor or actress, when you're blessed enough to get the role that you really worked your entire butt off for years, hard work and dedication really pays off, but also faith as well. You gotta remember that, you know, if you pray to God, if you ask him to help you, whatever that you try to do in life, he will do that for you. Now, I'm not saying that she's a Christian or anything, or she doesn't believe in God, nothing like that, but I'm just saying, like, for those that want to get into the acting industry, you have to always have faith regardless of what your journey is on. So even though she was an employee in a supermarket in New Zealand in her hometown, she immediately had to quit her job to become an actress once she got the part. And it really goes to show you that if you love what you do, stick by it. So shout out to Tazareo on this one. In terms of character development, Tazareo explained that the writers in the Fury shows gradually develop a beautiful, almost symbiotic relationship between the story and the actors' personalities, informing the growth and journeys of each character, she said. One of the things that I really wanted to bring to her was that earnest enthusiasm. I think that sometimes when you find these sort of quick-wit, sassy characters, that's all you see. I think you could also be someone who's really excited about things and sometimes naive, even when you've got that sort of outer mask of being like, I know what I'm doing. I really wanted to feed that into her when I could, especially because she's the youngest. She's a fan of the Rangers from the get-go. I thought that was some nice color to add to the really cool side of Izzy. And we saw a lot of that in the 4th episode when her and her brother, Chance Perez, shout out to him, Javi Garcia becoming the green and black Dino Fury Rangers. That was literally one of the best episodes, my favorite episode from season 1 of Dino Fury at that. So we saw a lot of her quirkiness, her edgy attitude, and she definitely fit the narrative. So I really like what they did with the character. But the 5th episode kind of really threw me off, in my honest opinion, so I would rather just erase that memory out of it. It wasn't the actor's fault, but it was just how it was written, in my opinion. So, getting back to Izzy, I feel like with Tesareo's acting performances, she could have been a long-time Power Ranger actor because this girl really brought that character to life. And even though she's done other projects before Power Rangers, but I think if Power Rangers had a certain special on Netflix or whatever network that's going to pick it up, for that matter, if they do, I'm sure they're going to probably invite her back so we can see and hear that beautiful voice of an actress, because Tessa is that girl. Skirts aren't really my thing. Izzy Garcia's action of removing a stereotype as she becomes the Dino Fury Green Ranger is a reminder to never hesitate to break out of the social mold. It's not that she's like, no, skirts are dumb, because skirts are dumb. Skirts aren't dumb. Skirts are great if you like skirts, no matter who you are as a human being, regardless of gender or sexuality. She's not really into skirts, so she's not going to do this. I think that's really a beautiful moment for her. Rayo shared what we learned about her over the course of both Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury. Those moments of vulnerability, conflict, connection, and growth is that she is very relatable because she is not perfect. She is learning about herself through experience. Whether it's learning the consequences of lying to your friends and family or misunderstanding someone's intentions. And I think that's also kind of true as well, because a lot of us do have that moment where we meet somebody and we quickly judge them based on their background, because if we don't get to know that person, then we could come off as very judgmental at times, though, because we really don't know a lot of these people's backstories, regardless of what they've been through and how they got into the situations that they are. We can criticize them and hold them accountable, but we're not going to just judge them and harshly critical them because of how they are. We can pray for them though, but we're not going to just like be, buddies, friends, just like that, just because we just met them. Like, it takes time to like get to know that one person. All it takes is growth. And I think that's what Izzy went through in Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury, because when she wanted to tell Fern that she didn't want to go to college because she was a Power Ranger, because she wanted to stay as a Ranger in order to help people. And Fern didn't really understand why Izzy gave up her college career. But during the end of the episode, she quickly realized that Izzy was the Green Ranger, but she kind of hinted that she was the Ranger because of her wearing green in every episode. So she kind of knew that she was the Ranger the entire time. But in Cosmic Fury, she pretty much knew all along. But yeah, that's really interesting to know that even though sometimes humans make mistakes, we lie to people all the time. But even if we tell one little lie, but we can't just break up with them and stop being their friend just because they tell one little lie. They can always be held accountable for their actions, yeah, but we don't have to immediately stop being friends with them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's a reason why they lied to them, because they didn't want to know the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts, but we have to go about it in a different way instead of crashing out on certain things all the time, because that's really not how life works, in my opinion. So Izzy's romance with Fern helped her grow over the course of the seasons, especially in Cosmic Fury. Throughout Dino Fury, their relationship began in a competitive way, but eventually flourished into a loving connection. Whenever Izzy goes through her life struggles, Fern is there to cheer and support, celebrating her wins, but also holding her accountable for her actions. This is what I was talking about. This dynamic suddenly flips in Cosmic Fury, where Izzy has to share the spotlight as Fern finds herself in a space with the Rangers and eventually becomes the Orange Ranger. Izzy has to work on her own inward stuff for Fern. She has to realize that she hasn't left enough space for Fern to be able to shine. Not out of control, out of fear, or out of love and desire for her safety, but something. But she's not allowing Fern to fully fulfill her potential. I think that even though they have that conflict, Fern is still creating that shift in her. Obviously, you see it all come to a head when she realizes that Fern has become a Ranger, and she has to kind of go, oh, I didn't have to worry. I'm not just here to protect you, but you're actually also able to protect me. And we've always been on that same level. This isn't a new thing. You've always been here. I just didn't recognize it until this point. I think that's a massive moment for her as an individual. It takes her a long enough, but finally realize. I think that's a really hard thing for us sometimes, because when you love someone so much and you want to protect them, Rayo at it, I think any scene with Jackie Joe was up there as my favorite, because it was just so amazing to work with her. And honestly, Fern's actress is a treasure to, she was a treasure to see on screen. Okay. In all honesty, I think Fern's actress was a treasure to see on TV, because you knew that her character had that spark. Because what her and Izzy went throughout Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury, the two of them are like the Kimberly and Tommy of Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury, because one is overly protective, one wants to handle herself, take care of herself, and be independent. Because once Fern went and saved Solon, and Solon's energy bonded with the orange, with the orange powers, she became the Orange Ranger, and she definitely handled those monsters on her own. And once Fern confirmed that she was a Ranger, Tessa switched on it quick and realized that, maybe I should have never really done that, because you've shown that you have what it takes to be a Ranger and you could take care of yourself. And I like what this part also said as well. And I was just talking about this as well, when she was holding Izzy accountable for her actions. I don't know why she didn't do that in Cosmic Fury. It's beyond me, because Izzy was beginning to be she was beginning to be a little too possessive over Fern. Now that she knows that she's a Power Ranger, because she just wants Fern to just stay inside the base and do nothing while everybody else is out there fighting. You know what I'm saying? Now that Fern is a Ranger, she could just join in the action too. And you see, the only thing I didn't like about what Hasbro did was make Simon Ben and them give Cosmic Fury 10 episodes only instead of 20 episodes. We would have definitely seen a lot more Fur and Izzy and the development of these two characters go on throughout the show. Even though it's no filler, thank God, but still. Another interesting relationship is that of Izzy and her brother Javi Garcia on camera. It's obviously that the chemistry between Tessa and Chance Perez is genuine. Honestly, from the get-go, we automatically got along. The dynamic was very similar on set. Way fewer arguments than between Izzy and Javi. Less bickering for sure, but a lot of silliness. We both love music. I think you'd be okay with me saying this. We're both the annoying ones that can't stop singing, laughing. That's, you know what I'm saying, that was such a fun kind of element to have on set. Chance is genuinely such a wonderful human being. He is an amazing person to work with. He's an amazing friend. He's an incredible father and husband. I still call him my TV brother. I actually think that our natural rapport, your natural rapport, that sort of silliness informed the relationship the most, which was really, really fun to play around with. I love him forever. And you know what? That's the one thing I love about this as well, because she's embracing that her co-star is pretty much like family to her best friend, her real life brother. I don't know if Tessa has any siblings, any relatives or not in real life, but you can tell that on Down Fury that the two of them really care for each other. And when they turned heel one time in that one episode, they kind of realized that, you know, both of their parents really love each other. When the evils spill, okay, I'm so over the place, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm not used to talking like this though, but still. But when the spell was broken off of them, they realized that, yeah, both of their parents really love each other, and, you know, and they also got to be there for one another as well. You know, family stuff. And that's what I like about Tessa, is that she shares her love for Chance Perez, her co-star. It's like their buddy type, even though they stopped working on Power Rangers after the show. You know, it's nice to look back on the show behind the scenes, a lot of funny and silly and sad moments on set. Because anytime when we see like new Power Ranger casts come together, they all feel like family, some sort of capacity. But the ones that I've seen, in my opinion, like the Dino Fury cast and the Mighty Morphin cast, even though they were not perfect, but I feel like nowadays they all really kept in contact with one another, and we've always seen them on social media. And if Power Rangers didn't exist back then when it comes to social media, we wouldn't know and have all the information. We wouldn't have Twitter and Instagram that about a new season, a reboot, a new director, a new producer, a new interview, a new article about this and that. If you know what I'm saying, if social media invented back then, a lot of us wouldn't even know about all of this until now. So shout out to Izzy on this one. And speaking of music, although Chance Perez was already the main pick for performing a song in the show's Cosmic Fury's fifth episode showcased a middle performance by Rayo that will forever be among the best moments in the Power Rangers history. The actor recalled performing I Love the Emperor of Evil, the vocal cord shading song that was one of my favorite moments of literally the entirety of shooting. I felt like I was in my absolute element. We recorded the song first. Those are our vocals. Those are our voices, actually, but still. They did some manipulation, but they actually did less than I thought they were going to do, because we kind of killed it. Very vocal cord shading for sure. I could not do that as a career. On the actual day, it was very, very hot. We were in a quarry. in these massive shoots, massive suits, excuse me, I was having to jump in a certain way because of my bare feet. It was hilarious. I think maybe for some people it was not as fun, but I thought it was obviously not immune to the elements. I was just so happy. I felt like Beyonce. Well, calm down, Tessa. Beyonce. Well, yeah. AC/DC and a bunch of different artists combined in this one bird singer, heavy metal artist. I was pulling all of my inspiration and just let it fly. It was so much fun. Now, when I saw this episode last year, like if you're from DC and you live in the DMV area, I don't know if y'all ever heard of go-go music, like go-go music, like the Junkyard Band, always singing yo, 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 yo. Like, the kind of go-go music like y'all heard before, like you live in DC. I feel like there was a part of me that really made me think of those moments where they were singing that song, shout, 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 shout. And it made me think about the go-go music. Like the beats in your head and them singing the lyrics, shout, shout. Like I could just picture one of the stunt doubles beating their feet on power. It's like that would have had me marked out completely. If you're from DC and if you know anything about go-go music, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. For everybody that is watching this video, if you watch that episode and if you hear them sing shout, 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 think of the go-go beats and them singing it and the music playing in the background. Think of it like that. Because I'm trying to give y'all like hints of what I'm talking about here, because I'm from the DC. I know what go-go music is about. I know the beats, I know the sounds, and I know the lyrics. Them saying shout, shout, shout so many times, I think of it like that. I'm not stupid. The actor ended the interview by opening up about what the character means to her and what, in her opinion, she embodies in the Power Rangers franchise and beyond. She's got such a beautiful balance of femininity and masculinity. She is of not bending to a stereotype, and even within the stereotypes that you might see her fall into, I still think she pushes back. Being a queer character is huge. It shouldn't be. Our screens shouldn't have been accurately reflecting our entire society a long time ago. In saying that, I'm really proud. I think Izzy teaches you that whatever you want to be doing, whatever that looks like for you, as long as it's authentic to you, it's right. There's no right unless it's who you are. You're not letting society dictate who you're going to be or what is right for you. You're letting your own instincts and what you learn and the advice and the love and the support of the people around you show the kind of person that you want to be, and allow that to continuously be something that grows and evolves. She's also not perfect. She's just a person that happens to be dating a woman that happens to not like skirts. I love that about her. So I want to break down some stuff that really stood out to me the most, where it says you're not letting society dictate who you're going to be or what is right for you. What I really love about that part is that we live in a day and age where society wins every time. Especially if you're a man, if you have an opinion on certain things, you're going to be called misogynist, narcissistic, or whatever that you're trying to, express some truth about facts in general. And people will always call you all wrong about that. And it sucks, and especially if you're in an interracial relationship with the person that you love or the person that loves you for you. Instead, the world and society will always find ways to throw a fit over it because you're not dating your own kind. But if I remember correctly, most interracial couples last a very long time and they go and create beautiful children. It's been happening since a long time. So this is not a new thing. It's been happening for years. And I feel like to me nowadays that society will always try to find ways of dictating your lifestyle and making you do things that you don't want to do. Or something that is making you uncomfortable, and if you speak out about it, it goes against you. Your inability to come forward and talk about your feelings. And society will always throw it at your face and gives you the middle finger. Because they think that when a man expresses because when they think that a man is expressing his emotions and feelings, the whole world laughs at him. But as soon as the truth comes out about what he said and what he was feeling at the time, they still throw it in his face, even if the truth is revealed. So what she's actually saying is that you cannot allow society to tell you how to feel, what you should, and what you should become, what you should be doing with your life. But at the same time, if you're out here doing wrong and you ain't got no business doing, you will be held accountable for your actions, regardless of any gender, any race. You can't just walk around scot-free doing whatever you want just because you live in America. And I get that America is a free country, but sometimes you have to deal with consequences of your actions. At that. So I like what this part says about what she said in the interview as well. I love that a lot. And it also says that you're landing your own instincts, and what you learn and the advice and the love and the support of the people around you shows you the kind of person that you want to be if you keep the positive people around you, those that have been there for you since day one. And it goes to show you that if you have good people in your circle, those that were there for you, those that love you from the beginning, those that supported you, keep them around, regardless. So at the end of the day, these are just some of the things that I wanted to break down. Shout out to Tessa, and she's my favorite character on Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury. She became my 5th favorite Green Ranger of all time. So what are your thoughts on this? Link to the article will be down below.